this season. That's why I think it's such a great game, because it's unpredictable. I'm sure there's going to be goals in it from both sides. But if Liverpool are brave, which I think they can be and will be, then they can go there and get something.
Do you keep one or both of the wide men further forward if you're Liverpool, is it?
Yeah, I think you do. I think, to be honest with you, the context of the game, I actually don't think Liverpool have got anything to lose by absolutely going after Man City today. I think Chelsea, you look at the three teams that have taken points off Man City this season: Arsenal, Wolves and Chelsea. And I think Chelsea did the perfect example of how to compete with them for 90 minutes. Yes, you could argue there was a couple of players for Manchester City who were off that day, Rodri in particular. But I think for Liverpool, keeping both wide players forward, pushing on Szoboszlai as well, and I think McAllister, I think it's the perfect game for him. There's a lot of questions and comments I've read and heard about, can he play the number 6 role on his own? And he does have that security of Trent Alexander-Arnold coming in, but honestly, I think if City press Liverpool, Liverpool will be cooking, because I do not think there's a player as good as McAllister. Well, he's in the physio room for City, and De Bruyne, who can play a ball around the corner as quickly as he can, and I think that is going to be dangerous for Man City today if he can feed the wingers that way.
Yeah, he Szoboszlai sort of plays that hybrid role, doesn't he, at Liverpool, because they're not quite there in terms of that sitting midfielder. So I think he's got to do a little bit of both. Plays a slightly different role to what he does at international level, but he's been fantastic for them this season, and yeah, they've certainly got one hell of a player on their hands there.
Because that midfield balance is really interesting for Liverpool, is it? And I go back to that Chelsea game again, which is not the be all and end all in analysing Manchester City, but I suppose is the most recent body of work to look at. And whereas Chelsea did cause them problems going forward, the fact that Chelsea's midfield at times didn't know whether to stick or twist, and Caicedo kind of got caught in no man's land a couple of times. Liverpool will have seen that, and therefore, you know, how McAllister plays that defensive midfield role will dictate quite a lot of what happens today, you would.
Revolutionised that position last season under Pep Guardiola. I mean, he always comes up with some form of magic, but he's not available for this one. Manuel Akanji looks like he'll be performing that role today. Is he as good as John Stones is in that position, do you think, Stuart Pearce?
No. When you go into those sort of areas, if you're going to go into that midfield area and you've got your back to play or your receiving skills, I mean, let's be quite honest with you. We didn't talk about John Stones being the player he is today a year and a half ago. He has been absolutely incredible. And the talk of international week last week is, well, I hope John Stones is back and playing against England and missing him as well as anyone else. You know, we're short at centre half at England. But he's got into that midfield area, John, and he's been absolutely sensational. He's picked the role up, and it's not easy. I've played as a defender all my life, and coming on to things I always found quite easy. Asking defenders to go in there to start with, to receive the ball and get on the ball, as well as and knowing when to drop back into the back line and make the timings right and make the four up again is not easy.
It's a whole lot of job description, isn't it?
My memory's all right, because I've just thought of something. I was sat here watching Monaco against Man City out here on this pitch, and Cavani got John Stones down the right channel on his own and destroyed him. And I thought, he can't defend well enough. He's brilliant on the ball, but he's improved.
Do you mean Falcao?
Sorry, Falcao, yeah, not Cavani. My memory has gone. I was right in the first place. Yeah, Falcao. Well done. Where'd you drag that up from? Anyway, I thought he's not a good enough defender, but I was wrong. He's definitely improved his defending. And we are in danger, Stu. I don't know about you. It's all right playing out from the back and coaching young defenders to be able to play football. But what are you going to do today when you're faced with Nunez, Salah and Jota? Have you got the tools to stop them? You need them tools, defensive tools. And if you haven't, you get beat.
It's as simple as that, isn't it? Well, the Liverpool players are heading back into the tunnel. Van Dijk was amongst the first, speaking of defensive tools. Interestingly, Rico Lewis, do you think he might have been a better fit in the role that Akanji's playing today?
No, personally, I don't. I've got to say, I was very impressed with him in his England performance. His first England cap, I thought he'd done really well. Give a penalty away in that, and he could have gone under. He didn't. He come out fighting straight away, and I thought says a lot about his mentality. He's only played a handful of games for Man City when you're talking about making your England debut. But listen, his time will come. There's no doubt in my mind. Do you know what I mean? He's played a big part already, but not today. I think it was the right call.
Yeah, okay, still very young as well, isn't he? So plenty more to see from Rico Lewis here on the pitch with, I told you, the Liverpool players have already gone back in. There was a little bit of applause as the Manchester City players as well headed down the tunnel to prepare for kick-off, which of course is imminent. That was a look ahead to today's Premier League action with Now Sports. Don't forget that with Now you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Manchester City against Liverpool live today for £11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on TalkSport with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Bournemouth versus Newcastle live today for £11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
This is Game Day exclusive on TalkSport. What a day we have for you here across the network. Sunny morning here at the Etihad. That is where we are. We are live across TalkSport. Myself, Dean Saunders, Stuart Pearson, Sam Matterface. We cannot wait for the game that we're bringing you at 12:30. It is Manchester City against Liverpool. Kickoff is next.
Game Day exclusive on TalkSport with Now. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Man City versus Liverpool live today for £11.99, no contract. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
Screwfix Black Friday deals end soon. Save £50 on the Milwaukee 18-volt ankle grinder bear unit, now only $79.99. And get the Forge Steel 22-piece toolkit for only $29.99, saving £20. For more Black Friday deals, shop on the app, online and in-store. It's not too late. Deals end Monday. Delivery charges apply. Ends 27th of November.
Rodri to De Bruyne, flicked on to Walker. Goal! No one saw that coming.
Or as we say in Japan, no warutaka wa tsume o kakusu. The smart hawk hides its tongue.
Salah's been so consistent. The very, very best deliver more often than not, most weeks. That's why they're at the top of the goal scoring charts, because they live and die for those goals. And it means so much to them. And if they don't score, they won't sleep at night. They're the natural goal scorers. That's Kane, that's Salah, that's Haaland. Nunez is not that. I think we will be saying, we very rarely say that about Salah, do we? We talk about Salah being incredibly consistent in front of goals. That's what we say about Haaland, because they're the very, very best. Nunez isn't in front of goal, but he brings different strengths.
When you look at just the chance conversion in the Premier League, last season it was around 10.7%, this season 11%, so it's been quite consistent. But the best striker
Sorry,
will be
his
chance conversion, Nunez's chance conversion, so 984 last season, 4 in 35 shots this season. If you look at the very best forwards, their chance conversion will be 20%. And that's kind of where he's probably got to get to in terms of taking those chances.
But you think that would be hard to...
No, I think you can work on that. There's no doubt you can work on your finishing. But I think he's at an age where it might improve. It might improve slightly, but I don't think he's one that's going to be getting 35 and 40 goals. I think he's a great link-up player with Salah. I think they work very, very well. But Salah's always going to be the main goal scorer in that partnership.
Well, and actually, that was going to be my next point on this, is that the Liverpool number 9, as daft as this sounds, under Klopp, their role has not necessarily been to be the team's top scorer.
No, that's it, exactly. And I think that the way that Klopp teams play is that if you compare these two sides, Man City and Liverpool, Man City operate with what they would like to be almost 90% control of the football match, and maybe 10% they leave to chance. But with Liverpool, I kind of like the way that they operate is because they leave a lot more to chance. Controlled chance, as in they like the game to become transitional or a little bit messy at times, because that's when their best players come to life. And a lot of Salah's best moments are not always by design, they're by... I mean, how often does Salah nick the ball off a back four? He'll go and press a full-back and he'll win the ball back. And I think that's what Klopp expects of his players. It's high work rate, and I think what comes with that is sporadic moments in the football matches, and that's why Liverpool have been so entertaining to watch over the past 6 or 7 years.
We've talked a lot about Liverpool here and haven't mentioned City that much in terms of their strength, Alan. But we are now at a stage where they're topping the Premier League table after 12 games for the first time in 5 years, since 2018-19. Given as Dave has already alluded to, they get better as the year gets on. Would you give it to them now?
That he would be the big signing of the season, that it would be all about Darwin Núñez, because Haaland seemed to struggle in that match, of course, didn't score, but it's sort of, he's been able to prove himself a bit more this season, hasn't he? Is a sort of an agent of chaos, you could say. Yourself as a big player for this side.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good look at him pre-coming here, you know, from my previous club. We were looking at him. And he's one of these players, as Dino said, he's got near enough everything. He just doesn't finish things off. If it all clicks for him, he could be the most effective striker in England, or certainly one of them.
Yeah, the best bit of advice I ever had was off my dad, and he said if you don't miss them, you don't score them. So all the way through my career, I took that as it's a numbers game. The more chances you have, you'll end up getting 25 goals no matter how many chances you have. Don't worry if you miss. And at the moment, I think he's got that mindset. It doesn't seem to faze him. He misses chance after chance. He works his socks off. He's a big lad, strong, and you know today he'll be on the end of some clearances and he'll turn it into a chance. He makes his own chances and he's definitely improving. Scored a couple of goals in midweek for his country. He is flying, and I'm interested today. I'm going to watch him closely today, see how he does against Man City's back four.
Yeah, Sam talked about sort of how you can coach Darwin Núñez to potentially be better. He's been coached more to be sort of less raw. I mean, you've both been managers before. If he was one of your players and you wanted him to improve and get the best out of his natural abilities as a centre forward, what advice would you give to him? How would you work with him, Stuart Pearce and Dean Saunders?
I would track it back personally. This is what I would do. I would look at all the chances he scored and all the chances he's missed. And quite often, you've only got one touch to finish. That would be fair to say as a striker. Look at his technique with those one-touch finishes in and around that sort of second 6-yard box and in. So from the goal line to the penalty spot, feeding balls, practice, repetition. What's your technique? Are you side-footing things? Are you lacing them? Is your technique right? And practice on one-touch finish. That's what I would do with a young kid, personally. That's what I would do with him. How is he missing chances? How is he scoring chances? And replicate that on the training pitch.
I just think back, when I signed for Oxford, Maurice Evans was the manager, and he said to me, the reason I've signed you, you missed 6 chances at West Brom, and I've never seen anybody having 6 chances against West Brom. They're a good team, so you're going to score. Then I signed for Arthur Cox at Derby. I said to Arthur Cox, how do you want me to play? He said, run fast and score. Then I went to Liverpool, and I asked Graham Souness, what do you want me to do? He started laughing at me. I just paid 2.9 million for you, and he asking me how to play. Just get out there and do what you do, score.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're best leaving them alone. And then guide them where to run, guide them where they've gone wrong, but you can't give a striker the instinct of where the ball's going to go next. You can't teach them that. They know they can anticipate. Michael Owen, 5'7", scored more headers than Mick Harford. How? He can anticipate where the ball's going.
And interestingly, it looks as though, and actually it's been said, Jurgen Klopp talks about it, this relationship between himself and Salah. They don't speak the same language, or the original languages are not the same, and they're probably, I'm sure Darwin Núñez is learning English now, but there's a real understanding between those two, isn't there? So I suppose when you have a player like Salah, who incidentally has scored in 7 in 12 league games versus City, so he's definitely, as we talked about earlier, he's definitely key for Liverpool, as he always is. But when you have a veteran like that, let's say that Salah could be, having him alongside you, if you're Darwin Núñez, is really key to your development as well, isn't it?
Of course it is. He's a role model within the team. We've all had role models growing up. If you can get into any team and have a role model that is there alongside, you're playing an attacking position that you've got an affinity with and an understanding with, it's like being coached. It's a coaching session, but you're actually in game time.
Yeah, and there's the reason why you called a finisher, you finish the move off. So sometimes you've got to stand between the posts. You watch Haaland today, he hardly moves. He stays in the 6-yard in between the posts, and he's waiting for that last pass that comes across the face. And if you're not there, you get left out.
Guys, Hey Jude is roaring in the background here. The players are making themselves out. Really quick prediction, guys. Quick one, Dino.
1-1.
1-1. Stuart Pearce, quick prediction.
1-1 was my call.
1-1 as well. Okay, well look, it is the greatest rivalry of the modern Premier League era. The atmosphere really has suddenly turned up a notch as both the players, teams head out towards that Premier League hoarding and line up. These are two teams that are fighting for top honours every season. Two of the great...
Tackling live Super League action.
Live commentary of the UEFA Champions League.
Champions of Europe again.
Live Aviva Premiership Rugby.
They must surely score.
No, non è...
Goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. Talk Sport 2. Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. Talk Sport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it.
Goal it.
Pass it. Hot it. Hot it. Or catch it. You'll find it right here on Talk Sport 2.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it too?
Talk Sport 2, because sport never stops.
We're sorry, this commentary is not available in your country. Please visit talksport.com/commentaries to hear an alternative stream or listen to TalkSport 2 for even more live sport.
Talk Sport has so much sport, we're running out of radio to play it.
In fact, we've got enough rugby, cricket, horse racing, boxing, motor racing and golf
For an entire other radio station.
And the thrilling days continue.
The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air. Talk Sport 2, because sport never stops.
There ain't no stopping them now.
Get set for more live sport, more incisive pundit comment and opinion, and more Andrew McKenna.
Against Nunez on 4 goals each. They actually faced each other, Argentina and Uruguay, in that break. Uruguay in scintillating form, as are both of these club sides here. And you can check the flash score up throughout this broadcast and come along with us to have a look at the stats, the shots on goal, the possession counts, and more. We'll see who dominates from the very early portion of this game. The first 15 minutes so crucial. Bernardo Silva will be amongst the most influential players you would think out there. A ripping Saturday fixture, and what a way to get us back into club action. If you English champion, who are playing in the sky blue with the white shorts and the sky blue socks. Bernardo Silva will get us underway. All the way back to Edison it goes. We'll see who dominates from the very early portion of this game. The first 15 minutes so crucial. Bernardo Silva will be amongst the most influential players you would think out there. A ripping Saturday fixture, and what a way to get us back into club action. And again, Liverpool with a high press, good pressure here for a couple of quick passes out from the back. Diaz is back there. Nice ball from Rodri. Vertical pass will find Foden, and we'll take you through the starting 11s for each side as Silva then distributes play down the left to Jeremy Doku, the Belgian, running in towards Alexander-Arnold. Needs to find a partner. Nearly found Haaland. Good defending there by Matip to save the day. It's picked up again by Kanji and Rodri. Out to Doku on the left. He's got 2 to beat there. He finds Silva. He's around McAllister to the byline. And again, it's Matip with a good right foot intervention. Liverpool with a 4-3-3. Allison in goal. He might be forced to make a save. Right here at 60 seconds gone already. City looking quite ferocious in attack. And that's come off Doku. That'll be what he says should be a City throw. And I think he's going to win it. Becker in goal for Liverpool. Van Dijk and Matip, the 2 centre-halves. Right side of defence will be manned by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Left side with Konstantinos Tsimikas. And Alexander-Arnold's already doing well to make that ball come off Bernardo Silva and win Becker a goal kick. The 3-man midfield, Curtis Jones, Alexis McAllister and Dominic Szoboszlai. Darwin Nunez, central focal point. Up forward with Salah on the right wing, Diogo Jota on the left. Van Dijk will go long over the halfway, and immediately Diaz pokes it forward, sent it about 30 yards. Through came, looks as though it's a Liverpool player that's been sent forward to the ground by Bernardo Silva. Didn't think that the City midfielder knew he was coming. It's actually McAllister, who rose quite high, and his head coming into contact with Silva, who just stayed planted to the ground quite simply. Liverpool with a free kick. Over the halfway they go. Apart from winning it back in midfield and coming forward quickly through Salah, it's been mainly Manchester City down the other end. In the opening 3 minutes, it's 0-0. First versus second, and Jurgen Klopp said it's going to be a super special game in the lead up to this, just before kick-off. 2 really exceptional football teams, he's classed them, and I'm pretty sure most fans around the world would. It's we'll see if they can do enough to contain Erling Haaland up forward. So far it's been Doku looking for his Norwegian teammate, but unable to pick him out. Here's Liverpool coming through the middle, straight down the corridor. Szoboszlai and Jones. Now back for Alexander-Arnold. It'll be settled down with Joel Matip playing on the right side of the centre-half pairing. Finds McAllister, the Argentine, up against Alvarez. 2 Argentinian teammates won the World Cup together, played together during the break, but they face up work it down the left touchline. Darwin Nunez. He hasn't been on the ball thus far. He's passed straight into Rodri, cut off the angle. Now it's Alvarez. Poorly done by him. Taken away by Simicas. Worked out again by McAllister. And Szoboszlai back to Alisson Becker. Across for Martin. Still working their way out of the back portion of the pitch. Doku in pursuit. Now Salah. Working the angles. Working a stop-start runs with Salah with his back to the halfway line. Took possession and allowed Liverpool to get back into their formation. Their 4-3-3. Simicas. City with 5 in their first line. They want Liverpool to go over it. Liverpool love a bit of ground passing, as do Pep Guardiola's side. Current treble winners of the League Cup, the Champions League, and this very competition. Now Salah can't dance the dance, loses out to Ake. Bernardo Silva will go behind. He'll resort to Manuel Akanji. Just outside his own penalty area. Now at walking pace into the 7th minute at 0-0. And you can check the stats on the Flash Score app, as I said at the top of the broadcast. Edison. Rodri out of the back line at this point. Liverpool with a line of 2 and 3 right up top there, forcing City to go down the right wing. Instead, nice ball from Diaz. Kanji to Rodri. Had the run of Haaland. High line from Liverpool. It'll go through the legs of Nunez. Out towards Walker. He pivots. Back inside. It'll go to Akanji. And again, it's settled down by Ruben Diaz in his 4th season since leaving Benfica. City just looking for a spell of possession here. Trying to make sure Liverpool are unfamiliar with the ball. Here's Bernardo Silva. Now it's through for Haaland. Foot race on with Alexander-Arnold. Shoulder to shoulder they are. Lovely back heel from Haaland. Still in play. Doku weaving his magic. Comes towards a wall of 3. Now back for Rodri. Outside the box. He'll chip it over to the far side on the right. For Walker. Who'll just keep it in Willie. I think that may have gone out. And the linesman, of course, has made that rule. It's all about how tenacious both sides are in this opening quarter of an hour. The stats will show you 80% of the ball with City. No goal attempts for either side. Becker with a goal kick in the 8th minute. Just the one free kick, that was Liverpool's. It was in the centre of the pitch when McAllister was sent tumbling to ground by Silva. Nothing in it, no intention, no yellow card shown. Now it's Szoboszlai. Nunez did well to shield possession. I think the ball might have gone out. It was unnecessary for Nunez. Didn't need to take that touch. It ends up a City throw. Doku with a really poor first touch there, and he's given away a free kick against the Hungarian in his first season since coming to the Premier League. Later on today we have some other live broadcasts, so do join us for Newcastle, Chelsea, Nottingham, Brighton, Sheffield United, Bournemouth and Brentford, Arsenal. You can check all the other scores in the English game, and also this Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga. We saw Bayern last night. Got the result that they needed. Harry Kane, and there's no other way to say it. It's special form, a special period for him since leaving Tottenham. And he is the highest scoring ever Englishman in German football now. Home record in 2023 for Manchester City, 23 games, 23 wins, 76 goals scored, 11 conceded. Long ball goes out towards Doku. Lovely chest inbound. Then it was Alexander-Arnold that recovered. Played in the right part of midfield for Gareth Southgate's England against Malta. Now out to the right wing for City, going from left to right. If you're visualising the screen, Foden did well to keep in that pass. And now back in for Akanji. Finds himself in the playmaker role behind Haaland. Realised perhaps that Jones had his measure. Now out to the left. Doku. Akanji seems to be omnipresent right now. Involved in everything. And I think Liverpool will like that. I'd rather him on the ball than a John Stones or a Silva. Also gives that defensive element of the game. Now Rod. Again Akanji, back to Ruben Diaz. A few of these players nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Some of the world's finest. And Haaland just missing out to Messi, of course. Second place for the... Oh, that's been given away. Big effort. Error there from Foden will strike. It was Becker who... Walker, he goes back in bounds, finds Ruben Diaz. An astute look. Down the middle, all of a sudden a through ball in behind for Haaland is overhit. Egyptian, closed down by Ake. Liverpool throw was a little nerve-wracking back there for him. Haaland's come away with it down the left wing. Now Doku. The cavalry arrive. Bernardo's down the middle. All of a sudden a through ball in behind for Haaland. Wants the space in behind and Tsimikas ensures the ball doesn't find its way to the right post for Foden. Sharp-looking City, but Liverpool so far have been positioned extraordinarily well. A composed-looking defence. Apart from that one pass out from Alisson Becker. It's the only save of the game. It hasn't been cagey, it's just an arm wrestle at this point. A chess match, and we will see the intelligence of Jurgen Klopp, how he's going to approach the next portion of the game, the next 15 minutes. Mo Salah with 13 appearances and 10 goals now this season, 4 assists. Haaland with 13 goals and 3. So prolific, so important to these two sides, so important to the Premier League in general. And Becker playing as the last defender. Something different from Klopp here as everyone is pushed around the halfway line. Van Dijk will find Jones. Tries to get around Foden on the second attempt. Gets there. Tsimikas in a bit of space. Now it's Liverpool's turn to try and breathe down the other end. McAllister back for Jones. Liverpool under 23 player, as is Alexander-Arnold. Both coming through the youth academy and sticking with the club. Now there's a lovely run here from Matip. City not expecting it. Now they get back in the box. Lovely cross. Big save. Still there to be put away. But somehow Ederson flaps at it. And then his teammates help him out and nudge it behind. Kyle Walker putting his body in the way. Salah's cross in from the right. Just lifted it to the head of Nunez. That was goal bound. The big right fist of Ederson pushes that over. Uruguay against Brazil. And then Kyle Walker watched it so carefully. He was able to contain. Alexander-Arnold, that'll be another corner. Left side of the pitch, 26 minutes into the game. 0-0 at the Etihad. Liverpool coming into this one, having played 12, won 8, drawn 3, only lost the 1. City have lost 2 coming into this. Conceded 12 against Liverpool's 10. Who will be the first to concede here, though? That was Van Dijk or Szoboszlai, one or the other, who got in each other's roads. So that'll be another corner, but from the opposite side, because that's just gone the goal line side of the corner flag. Alvarez will jog on over. The number 19, 4 goals and 4 assists for him. Second year after leaving River Plate. Here he comes, goes short along the byline. Silva's there, fakes the back heel. Now he makes some space for Foden. Will he line up the shot? It took a deflection of Jones and then set up perfectly for Becker, whose clearance is not a good one. Floats its way through to Ake. Around 1, around 2. Here's Haaland! And he dispatches the goal into the bottom right corner. Becker got a hand to it, but Erling Haaland only needed the 1 chance to reach 50 Premier League goals. 27th minute, it is Manchester City 1, Liverpool 0 on match day 13. So clinical when it counts. Erling Haaland in for goal number 14. Add the 36 from last season. Quickest player to get to 50. Witnessing history, and it all started with Becker's shocking punt forward. It went about 30 metres straight up like a rugby clearance. Ake went round 1, went round 2. Easy pass in towards Haaland. Ake just at the edge of the box, the pass for Haaland. Left foot across Becker in line with the left post. Finds the bottom right post just inside. Becker punching the ground. I think it may have even been a case of a Liverpool defender hitting Haaland's foot as he struck the ball, and it helped it along with the angle. Pep Guardiola celebrates with a big fist. Jurgen Klopp will be absolutely furious with that passage of play. Fewest games to 58 Premier League goals. Haaland with 48, Andy Cole with 65. So 17 games the difference. And of course it's a lot of pundits who claim that players aren't Premier League ready when they come here. It's taken him, what, 1 season and 13 games to break the record. Cruising on in. Erling Haaland, you are a superstar. Now Salah. Can he inspire Liverpool to get back on level terms? Here's Nunez out towards Szoboszlai. His cross. First it hits Ake and then put out of play. So Kanji just inside Ake. I think City might revert to a back 4 in this situation. Try and remain compact. That was the big word being used before the game by Jurgen Klopp. Wouldn't say that passage of defending Haaland's goal was very compact. Now some space. Tsimikas will go first time. Back inside for Jota. Tries to take on Rodri. Not sure if that was an improvised attempted back heel or not. Forward header from Matin. Haaland's pass back inside for Alvarez. Should have gone out to the left instead for Doku. Now the ball again to round the penalty spot for Diogo Jota. He can't contain it. Was there an offside flag in any case? Half an hour gone. Liverpool trail by the goal. 2 offside players as Liverpool come forward there. That ball from the midfield, and Salah was the central runner. Nunez had peeled off to the right. The 2 of them are offsides. So 15 minutes for Liverpool to find a goal before the break. Otherwise, it looks as though City will have a chance to make it 24. Trying to pick the lock out of defence. Walker's ball chopped off right on the halfway line. It will sit for Walker once more. Now Rodri. Bernardo Silva has to get a move on. And Szoboszlai breathing down his neck. Now Diaz waits for Nunez. Finds Ederson. His pass had to be accurate. Found Rodri. Lateral to vertical to diagonal. This is how they get out of trouble. Now into the attacking half. Doku. Lightning speed. It's upon request from Jeremy Doku. Grealish wasn't feeling the best, so Doku brought into the side, so maintains his place in the side. Of course, the big game before the break was that 4-4 away at Chelsea. Haaland opened it with a penalty for 1-0 in the 25th. Silva and Sterling made it 2-1 for Chelsea. Kanji in that first half stoppages made it 2-2. Then Haaland 3-2 in the 47th minute. Nico Jackson in the 67th. Rodri 4-3 for City in the 86th. And then the Cole Palmer penalty, the ex-City boy. Here's Doku. The left of the left post. That inverted winger run around. Alexander-Arnold has taken a touch off Matip and sails wide, so City with a corner from the right. Alvarez with a one arm raised. Now it's looking very full. I think everyone's got their drinks done and they're back in their seats. Capacity crowds. Alvarez's corner headed away. City still with it though. Foden. Rodri back to the halfway line for Walker. And that game against Chelsea, Guardiola did start that one. So in comes Ake for him, and the rest of the side is unchanged. Liverpool with a 3-0 win against Brentford. It was at Anfield. A couple of goals disallowed very early on. Mo Salah made the... Well, he got Liverpool the lead in the 39th minute, then made it 2-0 in the 62nd as Nunez comes forward. Now there's some space. He can fire one off if he wants here. Does he want to take it or no? It goes to Salah. Big angle up against Ake. Dutchman got a foot to it. Now Foden's back. And really well worked out. Foden still looking to open up some space for the release pass. Doesn't find Ake. Forward comes Alexander-Arnold. And that's halfway line for Walker. And that game against Chelsea, Guardiola did start that one. So in comes Ake for him, and the rest of the side is unchanged. The 2-1 for Chelsea. Kanji in that first half stoppages made it 2-2. Then Haaland 3-2 in the 47th minute. Nico Jackson in the 67th. Rodri 4-3 for City in the 86th. And then the Cole Palmer penalty, the ex-City boy. Here's Doku. And his shot has taken a touch. Trying to curl that into the far corner. About 4 yards to swing it out to the right once more. Alexander-Arnold and Jones. Now back for Tsimikas again. He's the last defender. McAllister's there. This is Doku, so McAllister will go to Nunez. His header forward, Salah saying he was pushed. Or perhaps it was a handball from Akanji. It wasn't the biggest appeal. It wasn't exactly like it was a plumb LBW. Ederson fling a left boot clearance. Here's Haaland. With the boot high enough to win that first. Found Rodri. A series of quick triangle passes, and now it's been given away. This is lovely from Liverpool. Szoboszlai finds Nunez. He can't find the angle. He had to turn his body and throw the ball through the legs of Ederson. Very, very tight angle on the left side of the goal, but they only manufactured this chance because of the high pressing. Szoboszlai, a big component. Nunez looking to get to goal number 5. He's in red hot form after 3 goals with Uruguay. Danger man. Now from the goal kick, it's Edison. Forward to Rodri, and Liverpool once more closed down, really clogging the lung of that City exit from defence. No room to breathe. Somehow they find their way through, though. Intricate passing to get out of danger. So Salah with those 2 goals against Brentford. Then Diogo Jota made it 3-0. The 74th minute. Bernardo Silva sprays it out to Doku. Can he knock this in? Doesn't usually like to bring it in aerially. Likes to run at defenders, create some chaos. He's very much like the Belgian Kvaratskhelia. Napoli playing Atalanta later today. Everyone wanted to see a Napoli City final. It was Inter, City getting the job done, and here's Alvarez on the overlapping run with Foden. The Argentinian took his eye off the ball. It's come off his left foot now for a Becker goal kick. So far, it's Erling Haaland that has made the difference here. His 50th Premier League goal in just his 48th game. It all started with a shocking punt forward from Becker. Okay, so casually got through and found Haaland right on the edge of the box. Took a touch, hit it to the bottom right corner. It's the running off the ball that makes Haaland so dangerous, not just his skills on it, not just his big frame, his physicality, his aerial presence, his superstar status comes through the work ethic. Well, that's Edison with a ball, a sensational one through the middle. Evaded 2 Liverpool players. Now it's with Doku. Slow it down, back to Rodri on the halfway. 38th minute of play at 1-0 for Manchester City. Ball to find a goal before the break. Otherwise, it looks as though City will have. But it's McAllister who's back from suspension, and Curtis Jones into this 11. So just the 1 change for Guardiola, 2 for Liverpool altogether. First versus second. And the current standings, though, will show you a 4-point gap. City on 31 points right now. That's Silva trying to find the pass around the back of Matip. Can't quite get it in the right area. Now Nunez. Diaz slows him down. It's very much Manchester City setting the tempo. Foden, almost a dance move mixed with some martial arts there to clear the ball. There'll be a Liverpool throw in the attacking half, though, on the left side. So Van Dijk will work it out with Matip. This is just the 11th goal that Liverpool has conceded. Only Arsenal boast a better defence. They still have to play in this round, so they might concede. And it's a big day of Premier League football. Burnley, West Ham and Luton, Crystal Palace playing the 3 o'clock kickoff as well. Tsimikas on the ball with 6 minutes to go until the break. Points won from losing positions. 11 points all up for Liverpool. So if there is a team that can mount a comeback and get wins, it is the mighty Reds. Club that's won 19 First Divisional Premier League titles. Long time between drinks, 1990 and then 2020. Manchester City, though, much more successful in recent times. I guess that's what a stack of cash will do to you, and good decisions in the market. Now it's Salah. Gets around 1, finds the passing behind. Here's Nunez. License flag stays down for now. Nunez out to the right half space. Will find Salah, who eventually puts the ball into the back of the net, but it won't count. Alvarez was offside by about a metre. The back of Diaz. City defence didn't scramble back. Really careless defending at the other end, though, for Haaland's goal. His father here to see it. Manchester City 9-time champion. 5 of those coming in the last 6 seasons. Roberto Mancini in 2012 getting that all-important first one since 1968. Of course, the fans have turned up and jumped ship. Here's McAllister, try and fire one in. Took it on from about 30 yards. Then Salah out to the right side again. The chip comes in over the heads of Jota. And it's kept in. Fantastic work from Tsimikas. Here's Jones to the edge of the box. He goes square, and it was telegraphed, and away comes Silva. Puts his body on the line, draws in the defender, releases Doku now. Now it's Alvarez down the right side, or Haaland. Where's Doku going to go? Goes to Alvarez. And not sure if that was a cross or a shot. In the end, a bit of both. Goes harmlessly behind. Liverpool survive. This was all Bernardo Silva's making. Genius. Just in front of his own penalty area. He's able to draw in McAllister, release Doku. They were chasing him to no avail. And again, it's another high offensive turnover. Rodri out to Doku. He's only got one to beat. Gets around Matip, then the Cameroonian. What a recovery. Salah. Now there's a 2-on-1. Liverpool out towards Nunez. Out to the sideline, though. He's on the right wing. He's got Jota at the back post. Tries to pull it back. Linesman says that's come off Nunez and not Diaz. So it'll be an Edison goal kick in the 43rd minute. What a first half it's been. You have to say, City has deserved the lead if there was a deserved leader. XG now at 0.45 for Manchester City and 0.19 for Liverpool. 64% of the ball with the citizens. 5 goal attempts to 4. That's all about how clinical Liverpool can be. And will the game open up in the second half? Is there something for them in the first half? Here's Edison. Again, that was risky. Somehow, it was a bullet ball forward. Release Alvarez. He's got 3 in front of him. Haaland's Foden out to the right. Alvarez makes the run in. And then it's Alvarez who created space for Foden. He shot that through on the left. I think Becker's got a hand to that and pushed it wide. Alvarez here found Foden, then Alvarez makes the run, takes, almost shepherded, and that made a whole load of space there. And here's Becker, that's prevented that from hitting the same corner that Haaland found. Very nearly going 2-0 up on the half-time whistle. Alexis McAllister, I think, has taken a knock to the face. He's going to have to brace himself here for the Julian Alvarez corner from the right side. It's the 45th minute. Is it Haaland o'clock once again? He'll make the run in. Almost a free header there for Diaz. And Ake rose high around the back. There's a little too much on that. Liverpool, the defence, not exactly outstanding on this occasion either from the set piece. Lacking that cohesion. Manchester City, and they have been splendid at the back, especially considering Nunez's form. And Salah, who's on the ball now. Szoboszlai into the middle, he goes first time. Still a loose ball there, and somehow City can tidy up at the back. Liverpool still with it. Just the 1 minute of first half added time. Tsimikas in for Jones. Spread it across towards Alexander-Arnold. Very central location though. Corralled by Haaland. You don't want him right behind you. Let's poke in his big left boot and take it away. Tsimikas. Back for Van Dijk. The switch comes. Square ball for Matip. Doku comes towards him. Liverpool going backwards. Might be safer to go to Becker. Szoboszlai dinks one back to McAllister. There is some space here for Alexander-Arnold. Really nice sliding tackle there from Silva to see out the big first half for Manchester City, who have the lead at the Etihad Stadium on match day 13. Erling Haaland with his 50th Premier League goal. Beautifully taken in the 27th minute. An error at the back, not just from Becker. It was a collective effort and a magnificent day for the Liverpool.
Ma come fai ad essere così calma?
Ha preparato l'esame con CEPU. CEPU, studente preparato, esame superato.
2 for 6. TalkSport.
Andy Murray, with his head in his hands, goes to congratulate Novak Djokovic.
I'm so happy. TalkSport 2. Live international football.
What a goal!
Get in the ring. Go the distance. TalkSport 2.
And Fury's got it. A unanimous decision.
If you can kick it, hit it, bowl it, pass it, putt it, pot it, or catch it. You'll find it right here on TalkSport 2. The prodigal son of all radio stations is on the air.
Can they make it two?
TalkSport 2, because sport never stops. We're sorry, this commentary is not...
With Dino earlier, by all accounts.
Is that where you were, Dino? Is that where you were in the tunnel?
No, I've been looking at the tactical situation on the field. So.
Oh, right, okay. Here is Salah, out towards the edge of the area, looking for Alexander-Arnold to squeeze through a tight gap. It's cleared away by Akanji, funnels into almost like a left-back position and scoops the ball out to the near touchline. It's away for a throw, halfway inside Manchester City territory, and it remains 1-0. And Liverpool go fashion away back into this game. They always seem to give City a bit of a game. There's always a tussle. It's rarely a one-sided event. It was a little bit like that in April when Salah scored first, but City blitzed them 4-1, eventually the final score. But overall, Klopp has got the best record of any other manager against Pep Guardiola. He's going absolutely ballistic at Curtis Jones at this moment in time. He has gone off the scale crazy down inside that technical area.
And if you're unsure what that looks like, cast your mind back to John Cleese in 40 Towers when his car breaks down.
Or cast your mind back to the first half and envisage Stewart holding onto an electric fence. Similar sort of thing. 1-0 to Manchester City. Free kick to be taken about 15 yards inside opposition territory. It's swung towards the edge of the D, headed away by Akanji. And Manchester City get it clear. Bernardo Silva, who can do the silk but also the simple stuff, smacks it high into the afternoon sky. And then the ball drops for McAllister, who does well. But still, it's a bit of a struggle for Liverpool to get away before Alexander-Arnold swishes the ball down the right side. It's taken on by Salah, who looks to try and beat Ake. Goes on the outside of him, and he's just overrun it slightly. And Akanji has come across. And those two defenders, Akanji and Ake, double team Mo Salah brilliantly there and just nullified him.
They certainly did. Listen, Ake's engaged him brilliantly today. Sometimes, all the time, you can tell with the body language of defenders. Are they nervous? Are they scared about engagement? Ake not once has engaged Salah, and his body language has sent a message out. I'm fearful of you.
He's an accomplished defender. I tell you what, they do miss him when he's not available, and he missed the Chelsea game with injury. He missed the recent international break as well. He does look up to full speed today, though, doesn't he, Nathan Ake? You're listening to TalkSport, and we're live at the Etihad Stadium. Stuart Pearce, Sam Adderface and Dean Saunders, the former Liverpool striker here, giving you an account of Manchester City 1, Liverpool 0. And at this moment in time, it's Manchester City who have the ball right side. The ball right side in their own half with Kyle Walker up to the centre circle of Bernardo Silva, who tried to just bend it round the corner for Doku, but it was read well by Alexander-Arnold, who's got it back and then sent the ball into the box himself after scurrying up the pitch. Akanji heads it away, bounces out on this near side, and it goes out for a Liverpool corner, and there's just a little ripple of a roar over on that far side, away to our right, where the Liverpool fans are housed, just left and behind of that Ederson goal that they're now attacking.
Well, I think we've seen the first time in the game that Silva has failed to find a pass, albeit it was a near miss.
Corner kick, right side for Liverpool. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger from Kostas Tsimikas, who puts his right arm in the air and then left-footed, delivers the ball to the back edge of the 6-yard box. It's a brilliant catch by Ederson. Saw that superbly, jettisoned his arms up into the air and grabbed it. Then tried to produce a brilliant throw out to halfway, but Trent Alexander-Arnold won it back. Step forward, Szoboszlai gets it out wide to Jota, who tries to juggle with it, dealt with brilliantly by Walker and then cleared by Silva. Haaland on the turn, plays it forward. Alvarez, it's 3-on-3 here, and City are coming down the left with Doku again. McAllister goes across, see you later. Doku's into the box now, squares it. Alvarez over the bar. Got his body shape all wrong. Immediately a turn from Jurgen Klopp and quick signal to the bench for a substitute because Jota is hurt. He's got a big problem. I think his left hamstring has gone. At the other end, they were all at sea once again. McAllister couldn't deal with Doku. He brushed past him, centred the ball, and Alvarez couldn't find the target.
Yeah, as I say, as soon as the ball arrived, I talked about body language of engaging players. McAllister come across, he's looking over his shoulder. Where's the help? Where's the help? You know, no attempt to try and win the ball. He's just tried to foul the player and got that wrong.
You know, tactically, Sam, both teams are playing with 2 number 10s. And why isn't Szoboszlai getting the ball out to Salah as much as Bernardo Silva's getting it out to Doku? You know, they're both playing in the same position. Bernardo Silva is super intelligent and finds pockets everywhere. Can you imagine Mo Salah if he had that service? What damage he'd do?
Gravenberg's about to come on, so is Luis Diaz as well, as Liverpool make a double change here, just a handful of minutes into the second half, just 8 minutes into the second half.
This injury might just help Liverpool. You know, I think Diaz coming on that side of the pitch just might give him a lift.
Yeah, I wonder who he's going to take off in midfield, because Gravenberg is about to come on. I just wonder whether or not Curtis Jones, after that rollicking he got a few moments ago, might be the candidate here.
Spot on, Sam. He's on his way over.
The fourth official coming up, and it is Diogo Jota first of all for Luis Diaz, and then the second change is 17, yeah, Curtis Jones for Ryan Gravenberg. Had a bit of a knee injury, but he is on the field of play now. And Jurgen Klopp shakes the hands of Curtis Jones, and Liverpool, I mean, arguably, it might strengthen the team slightly. Gravenberg is very advanced and very cool customer in the middle of the park, and Diaz on his days sprightly. He's got real speed about him. We'll see what happens next. Foden on the far side, 54 gone, ball infield to Rodri. Rodri elevated cross goes towards Haaland after a header by Trent Alexander-Arnold, but he couldn't get his body shape into the right position to get the full force behind it, and it's over the bar.
Yeah, poor header there, just lobbed into the box, and Trent's got up above Silva, as you'd expect, but all he done was just lay the ball down to Haaland's feet.
And Liverpool have lost just one of their last 23 Premier League games dating back to April, but they are in danger of losing this one unless they can find a way back into this game. Manchester City know that they have got a period coming up. This is usually when things turn quite congestive in the festive fixture list, but for Manchester City, although it's not light, the burden has been lessened by qualifying for the knockout stages already in the Champions League with 2 games to go. That takes the pressure off. They also don't have the Carabao Cup to contest after being knocked out by Newcastle. What they do have in December is the Club World Cup, which will clog things up a little bit, but it could have been much worse for them. Here's Tsimikas onto Luis Diaz, getting through this fixture and putting 4 points between them and Liverpool, and Arsenal at this stage will be good for them. Arsenal will get to respond later when they take on Brentford.
As I say, at this moment in time, it's been a statement performance by City, I think.
Very difficult to argue with that. Here is Rodri in his own half, tucking it towards the left. It's picked up by Diaz and then back by Akanji to his goalkeeper. Let's see how those changes affect Liverpool over the next few minutes.
Imagine a future in which your routine health check is based on gigabytes of data about you, your...
He launched it down the touchline. Haaland was being wrestled by Matip, and then he was wrestling back with McAllister. McAllister trying to get out of a tight spot, and the ball runs out on this near touchline, so we'll go off to St James's Park. And Newcastle, who have a busy week coming up, they need some of their bodies back. Steve Harmison.
More bad news for Newcastle. Joe Willock and Sean Longstaff out of today's game. 3 changes for Newcastle. Grimares, Livramento and Isaac all in the starting lineup. Ogakochu and Banchili in for Chelsea in place of Diaz and Casero with 2 changes.
And off to Alan Biggs. Sheffield United have taken 4 points in the last 2 games. Can they add to that, Alan?
Well, the signs are good with 2 big players in every sense back from injury, Oleg McBurney and Anel Ahmedhodzic, although both resumed from the bench. That's testament to the mini revival that signals an unchanged side. Bournemouth's single change is enforced. Adam Smith for the injured Max Aarons at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United versus Bournemouth.
Liverpool on the attack. Gakpo tries to flip it down the right side, looking for the run of Salah. Did the ball go out of play there? I think it did, so we'll go off to Luton, who held Liverpool 2 weeks ago at Kenilworth Road. So, do they have to go one better today against Crystal Palace, Ian Abrahams?
Yeah, with a nightmare run coming up, they certainly do. 2 changes, Amari Bell and Petty Ruck, Ivan Nakamba and Karoba. As for Palace, 2 changes for Chet Takore is back for Will Hughes, and Michael Elise starts for Jordan Ayew.
Foden picks the ball up right side for Manchester City, skates beyond Tsimikas, who just clips the back of his heels, gives away a free kick and picks up the first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, I think it was Nunes actually that ended up tripping him over and getting the yellow on that occasion.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, just tracking back, it was him. At least he's run back with effort and determination. That's what you want to see. When you got strikers who work hard, you can leave them in the team when they're not scoring. You know, otherwise you got if they're lazy and they're not scoring, they end up sitting next to you.
And those two just crossing over before Nunez had a little nibble, and then it's a free kick to Manchester City over on the far side, which will be taken by Julian Alvarez. There's a 6 or 7 man red line about 5 yards back from the edge of the 18-yard box. And Ake, Akanji, Haaland and Rodri are all those who are looking to get on the end of this delivery from Julian Alvarez. Over on the far side, the right, as City look at it, looking to double their advantage here. Manchester City lead by a goal to 0. Right-footed, the ball sends in towards Haaland, who flicks it towards the near post and goes over the top of the crossbar. So we'll go off to the game down the City ground. No one in 6 for Brighton. And he played for Ireland in the break, so is Evan Ferguson back for Roberto De Zerbi. Alex Crum.
He certainly is. One of 5 changes from Brighton's draw with Sheffield United. Verbruggen, Veltman, the captain Dunk and Lamptey also come in. 2 changes for Forest. Danilo and Wood replace Sankare and the injured Awani. It's Forest against Brighton at the City ground.
Vincent Kompany under scrutiny, but are West Ham without their main source of goals, Ian Dante?
They are, Sam. No Jared Bowen, no Michael Antonio in West Ham's lineup. The one change from their win over Forest is Danny Ings coming in for Bowen. Burnley, despite having not picked up a single point here at Turf Moor, remain unchanged for this one from their recent defeat at Arsenal. Live on TalkSport 2 at 3 o'clock. It's Burnley against West Ham United.
And if you want to listen to TalkSport 2, get our app. It's the perfect companion to your Saturday afternoon. Full commentary on TalkSport 2. Round the grounds on TalkSport. You can flick between the 2 stations with consummate ease. And especially over the Christmas period when we're bringing you games galore, then you will need the TalkSport app. And of course with the added bonus of the Cricket Tour of the Caribbean next month, exclusively live and free on TalkSport 2 and TalkSport's new...
Aspetta, io mette in più questo.
All right now, trying to bend this over the wall in the top corner, but it's Alvarez or Bernardo Silva. Fingers crossed, they hit the wall.
Well, Alvarez grabs hold of the ball, and he looks to be the one sizing it up. He heavily featured for Argentina in the break, and he's got 2 goals in 3 appearances against Liverpool, and he is a real danger from this sort of zone. He is the set-piece taker the majority of the time for Manchester City now, and that wall lined up, 4, and then 1 dropped across the bottom, and there's a little 2-man wall acting as a decoy for City just in front of that. Alvarez steps up right-footed, tries to bend it round the corner, but it hits Nunez, who was part of that wall. The wall did its job, and it scurries out towards the far side, the left, when Liverpool attempt to clear, but Walker wins it well and brings it back infield. Alvarez then looks to shift it on out towards the near side. Doku coming in on his right foot now, turns it back to Ake, and then back down the left it goes to Alvarez once again. into a more congested central zone, and then Akanji, and then midway inside opposition half. There's a bit of space that opens up for Rodri, who peels the ball out to the left-hand side. Doku's coming in field, right-footed, blocked by Matip, and then cleared upfield by Liverpool, who look to try and race away now with Gakpo on this near side, but Ake does brilliantly and positions his body well and clears it out on this near side. Pep wanted a foul on Ake. Referee not forthcoming with that. McAllister off, Endo on is the first change. Stuart Pearce.
Yeah, as I say, it's your mentality now. I think Jurgen's mentality is let's keep driving forward and see what happens. If we leave ourselves slightly vulnerable, well, that's the nature of the way we play. So they'll keep surging forward, I'm sure.
Harvey Elliott is coming off, and Nunez is coming off in place of him. It is. And Harvey Elliott on. So I think that will mean just a slight shift. They've got some, well, they can either put Gakpo as a false nine, can't they, or Salah through the middle, and then Elliott can go out to the right, or he can play on the right of the central three, and Gakpo can stay where he is, or they can switch and move. Dean Saunders?
Well, I think it's obvious intention. He's took his centre forward off and he's took his playmaker off, and he's brought on Endo, who's a defensive midfield player. Mo Salah's gone through the middle. A point is a great result for Liverpool.
Well, no one gets a point here. Not in 2023. Everyone loses. Not one team has come here and got anything in this calendar year. Can Liverpool be the first? Well, there's only 6 minutes to go. Is that all? I can't believe that. It's 1-1.
No, the game's absolutely flown by.
I looked up there and I thought it was going to be 70 minutes. 84 minutes on the clock. And it's 1-1 between Manchester City and Liverpool live on TalkSport. Are we going to get a grandstand finish? This is going to build to a crescendo. Here's Doku down the left. He could provide the noise. He gets skating down that left-hand side, runs in between two defenders, goes down under the pressure from Alexander-Arnold and Matip, and wins a free kick right on the corner of the penalty area.
Got to say, Doku's got absolutely electric feet. He drives at you, he asks questions. Now, the Liverpool players are demanding that there's been no touch on him and no foul, but because he's so direct and he manipulates the ball so quickly to the referee's eye, whether it is or whether it's not, it's a difficult one. It's a foul. It's a foul, there's no doubt about it. But unless you ask those questions of defenders, you never get the fouls.
Do you know what, Stuart? It stemmed from Joel Matip. They've just scored. They're taking a point, obviously, by his substitutions. Why would he play out from the back with 5 minutes to go and risk everything? Just get Mo Salah chasing balls down the sides.
Free kick to Manchester City down the left-hand side. As they look at it, they've got 4 to aim at in the penalty area. Can they get a late winner? Alvarez will take it right-footed towards Haaland. It's headed into the air by Endo, and it's flicked behind and out for a corner over on the far side. Remember, Monday Night Football, Fulham against Wolves. Danny Murphy joining Drive from 6 o'clock. Adrian Durham taking you through the night at Craven Cottage. Tuesday night, we're in Paris with Newcastle United. Paris Saint-Germain against Newcastle with Alan Pardew and I live from the Parc de France on Tuesday night. Ball whipped in from the right-hand side towards, well, he's underneath the goalkeeper, and Akanji is bundling him past the goal line, and the referee just saying, hold on a second, did it go over? Are we going to check this one as well? Hold on a second. The ball's gone into the box. Has he dropped it behind the line? Did he stumble? Was he pushed? Hold on.
What I don't understand what the referee's doing here. He's waiting for VAR to check it. He's disallowed a goal which was less contact a while ago. So what's the point in waiting for to see whether this is over the line or a foul or not?
Well, it's given the foul in the end anyway, hasn't it? So, as we thought they might, and it's cleared away by Liverpool, who have now only got 2.5 minutes to wait. Has been a quite some afternoon for Alisson, who's just come back from international duty. The ball sent forward by Liverpool. Certainly that will be something that is looked at over the course of the rest of the weekend. And I'm sure that Pep Guardiola will still be furious about the fact that having as a head injury causes a delay in the play. Listen, it was a Manchester City player who got a head injury, and it's the Man City players are kicking off about the fact that the game has been stopped. They'll be kicking off about the fact that that goal was disallowed in the second half, because that's a major turning point in the game.
Yeah, as I say, they had an opportunity on the counter, a slight elbow in the back from Gakpo, just on the back of the head, but the players, you can't have it both ways. You can't turn around and say, look, when our players go down and you want to slow the clock down, and then all of a sudden, when you get a break on, you want it to carry on.
First of 10 games for Liverpool between now and Boxing Day, including a League Cup quarter-final against West Ham live on TalkSport. This will be a good start for them, getting a point. What it will also do is it will mean that Arsenal have the opportunity to go top of the table if they beat Brentford later on today. Going to be an uncontested drop ball for Manchester City, who have it away to our right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mr. Kavanagh booked himself for time wasting there. He's delayed the goalkeeper starting the ball when he had it in his hands. He's moved the ball 10 yards for a drop ball for I don't know what reason.
Now maybe you should grab hold of Doku's legs, because apparently they're electric, and that would shock him into action. Ball down the left-hand side for Bernardo Silva, and it's fouled by Gakpo, which generates a free kick. City hardly ever draw matches, but this is going to be 2 in a row. Liverpool, whose away form hasn't been great, are going to be pretty happy to take a point away from this one if it is to be the case. We're going into injury time, live on TalkSport. It's 1-1 between Manchester City and Liverpool in the Premier League. Walker down the right side into Foden. Foden trying to turn it infield, but it's blocked by a combination of Gravenberch and Diaz, and then Diaz tries to take it out towards the far side, couldn't keep it in, and it's going to be a throw-in. They want to get it moving quickly, Manchester City here, because they think that they can steal all 3 points. 3 points they might think they deserve, because they had a goal disallowed when Alisson was under little pressure from Akanji. It split the commentary box as to whether it should have been allowed or not. You'll be able to make up your own mind in the fullness of time and discuss it with Jamie O'Hara and Gabi Agbonlahor. You'll have to wait a bit though. We've got 8 minutes of added time, and Doku has been played forward on this left-hand side. He's miscontrolled it. Trying to take on Alexander-Arnold. He's got command of it back now, and then he's run the ball out of play. It's out for a goal kick. 8 minutes of added time. I was a bit surprised by that.
Once again, people don't realise how fit you've got to be to play like Doku. You know, it's repeated sprints. They're giving him the ball every couple of minutes. He's having to take Trent on. And I think Trent's done all right. He's got to the byline 3 or 4 times. But considering the amount of times the left wingers run at him, and fair play to Jurgen Klopp, we talked about it, Stuart. He's stuck to his guns. And Mo Salah makes the goal for Trent. Yeah, exactly. That's what he does. He sets his team up accordingly, and it's difficult to break your footballing philosophy, I think.
Pepper said that Klopp is the rival that has made him think about how to beat him the most, the toughest opponent he has faced, and it's proved to be another difficult afternoon. Once again, they duelled in Germany and here in the Premier League, and every now and again, Klopp comes out on top. It won't be a victory, but it might be a moral one. Klopp said before the game he was a game that had to be watched wherever you were on the planet. In the first half it felt like that. The second half maybe not lived up to as much expectation, Stuart.
No, the first half I would say has been slightly better, but there's been action continuously in this game from both ends of the pitch, that is for sure.
Remember, Liverpool scored a late goal at Kenilworth Road just 2 weeks ago. They scored in the 95th minute, 94 minutes and 40 seconds. And they equalised at Luton. Can they come up with another late goal? Will it be Manchester City who do so? We've got 8 minutes of added time, of which we've played 2 live on TalkSport. Away to our left, the ball is with Alisson, who flicks it forward, and then threatened to kick it further up the field, and went shorter to Van Dijk. Played infield to Gravenberch, and then out to Luis Diaz. Diaz back infield now, towards Wataru Endo, and then on to Gakpo, and Gakpo trying to get away from Doku, but Doku has won it back. Then he's got tripped. They want to play the advantage here, and then eventually they give the free kick, and there's going to be a yellow card, I think, for Cody Gakpo.
It's interesting to see City have been in the ascendancy and might be looking to shore things up, but no substitutes at all. You know, he certainly sees this as his best lineup.
Well, especially with the bench as it is at this moment in time. They've given the ball away very cheaply, though, from that free kick, and it's been bent in behind by Salah, trying to get over the top of Walker's head, but I think Luis Diaz is already in an offside position anyway, and it wouldn't have counted. It took him a little bit too long to
try and deal with that. Yeah, you're right about the substitutions, and I think that's because of the fact that he's got Phillips, Stones, Gomez, Vardiol, Bob and Lewis on the bench, and no real attacking options there for him to add to. Here is Doku, who's certainly one of those, trying to get the better of Harvey Elliott. They've had to double and triple up on him at times in order to stop him, Jeremy Doku. But it's Liverpool who have emerged with the ball up to halfway. Elliott trying to poke it clear. Haaland's won it back again, down the left-hand side. He scored the Manchester City goal early in the first half. He tries to centre it, blocked by Alexander-Arnold. The ball goes out on this near side. It's a Manchester City throw in the 94th minute of the game. We've still got 4 minutes to play. 1-1 finally poised, right at the end of the clash of the Titans.
I'm not sure I want anyone to win this, because I don't think anyone deserves to lose it, but it's not to say that won't happen.
Sent round the corner by Rodri, into the path of Phil Foden. Plays it back infield now. Rodri takes control. Centre of the Liverpool half is Akanji. Now Foden out further wide, where it's collected by Walker. Walker to Rodri, who floats it towards the back post. Waiting there is Doku, sets it back for Silva, whose shot is blocked by Matip, and then it comes back out to the near side again. Back in by Silva, away by Van Dijk. And then Ake stoops and heads it forward from the left side of the midfield and up in towards the wing position. And they're popping the ball around now with regal presence. It's Foden out towards the left, and they're building up ahead of steam. It's Silva onto Doku, left edge of the area, steers it towards the far side, and he was caught in between two minds of finding Alvarez or Haaland, and found neither, and it was cleared away by Liverpool, but only to the halfway line. The minutes tick away again. 95 minutes have been played. Here is Diaz looking to the right. Foden takes control, meanders towards the edge of the box, left-footed, gets the ball in towards the edge of the six.
Se ti prepari con CEPU all'esame, vai alla grande. CEPU, studente preparato, esame superato.
We moan about that, about the game. I just think it's been a great game, played in the right manner, in the right spirit of two teams that are massive rivals, you know, and both sets of players and managers need to be commended for what we've had today.
Yeah, it's been a good spectacle, hasn't it, over the 90?
World-class players on the pitch, all over the pitch, and two of the best goalkeepers in the world. You can't ask for any more. It's been like attacking play from both teams, and you feel as if Man City were 1-0 down and they needed to score, they would. They're both happy with a point, but we'll score without taking too much risk.
Jurgen Klopp once again barracking someone. Pep Guardiola does the same thing. The ball goes back to Alisson, who's overrun it a little bit, and it almost came through to Haaland and then almost given away to Alvarez, and they've won it by Foden trying to feed Haaland. He can't quite get down that right channel, but again it's a poor clearance by Alisson, who's gone back. He's pulled his hamstring. The ball's gone towards the edge of the area. It's squeezed towards the far post. They've got to protect their goalkeeper now because Alisson is hobbling. Doku spins, turns the ball into the near post. Diaz turns it round, and it goes behind the way for a corner kick. And Alisson's gone down because he's got a serious ailment, and they're going to have to bring on Kelleher, I think.
Well, just when you think you've seen everything and we're running right to the end of the game, Alisson's cleared one with the outside of his right foot, and I think in the process has pulled his hamstring.
Well, I don't think they can, because Elliott, Gakpo, Endo, Gravenberch and Diaz are already on, so they haven't got another substitution. But he's done his hamstring here, Alisson. He's hobbling around, so he's going to have to be seriously protected here, because we're in the final few seconds of the game. 97 minutes have been played. 8 minutes of added time have been allocated. Alvarez under the goalkeeper, flicked by Haaland, who's beaten into it, and it's wide. Narrowly wide of the left-hand upright. He came charging in like a wrecking ball in front of Alisson, and he is about half a yard away from winning the game for Manchester City.
Well, great run there by Haaland. He splashed across the front of the goal, got a little flick on, and Ake was just a foot short of getting a touch at the far post.
I spoke too soon there about world-class goalkeepers. Alisson's had 5 assists for Man City in this game. Someone needs to tell him it's not a Sunday League game.
Ball cleared by Virgil van Dijk, taken by Salah, who's then looked to play it out towards the left. He hesitated slightly. We played 98 minutes. We're going into the 99th minute here at the Etihad. 1-1, finally, boys. Hamstring injury for Alisson. They've got to keep the ball away from him. The ball is on the left with Liverpool, and they're attacking now, looking for the winner. They clip it into the box. Luis Diaz flicks it on. Ederson comes out and grabs it. Well, he needed a better touch than that. There's the full-time whistle, and the epic is over. Well, no one takes Manchester City down at their Coliseum, but Liverpool have come about as close as you can get without doing so. The first time that City have been held at home this calendar year, and it's Jurgen Klopp who stops Pep Guardiola from taking another English record. There will be protests. Nunez is already being held back by Jurgen Klopp to stop him from getting himself into trouble with Pep Guardiola. He's having to be shepherded away from the Manchester City manager, who will be arguing that he believes he had a goal that was wrongly disallowed in that second half before the equaliser from Trent Alexander-Arnold. What it means in the fullness of time is that Arsenal have the ability to go top should they win away at Brentford later on today, and underscores just how competitive this Premier League season may well end up being. It's finished at the Etihad. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1.
Sam Maspace, thank you very much. And right now, Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp, two of the greatest managers in the modern game, or in the game at all, have been hugging, they're chatting. They know that this was a huge spectacle. They know it was such a well-contested match. What a spectacle then for the Premier League. What a 90 minutes plus for the fans as well, globally, and of course fans of both sides as well. It is a Manchester City side that have been held at home for the first time since New Year's Eve in 2022. Everton were the side to get a 1-1 draw back then. It means their 23-match winning streak at home here at the Etihad has come to an end, and it is Liverpool who has put a stop to that. Oh, how they will relish that opportunity. It wasn't a win for either side, but I guess you would say that no side really deserved to lose this game. Everyone deserved to take something from it. What a spectacle, Dean Saunders.
Yeah, and we predicted right, Stuart. We got the 1-1. I just think if both teams needed to score, if they were losing, they would have. They've got players all over the pitch. Liverpool, not outclassed. I think Man City were the better team over 90 minutes, but they weren't outclassed. And they've got goals in them, and Trent's popped up and got the equaliser. I think Liverpool's midfield's still not right.
Yeah.
They're not popping it through the lines. Jordan Henderson used to drift out here on the right and give the ball to Mo Salah. That stopped happening. Szoboszlai has to learn that. And McAllister when he starts playing a bit further forward. But apart from that, good signs, good
result. Can I just say, Pep Guardiola has been going around hugging all the Liverpool. Give a big hug to Trent Alexander-Arnold, which surprised me a bit. Going up and shaking hands, seeking him out, seeking Virgil van Dijk out as well. And Ederson and Alisson have been having a long chat as well. The respect between these two sides is immense.
When you go into a game like this and you don't want to get beaten in the game, you're trying to win it but you don't want to get beaten, there's a sense of relief in both technical areas. Both myself and Dean have been there as managers, and sometimes all things being equal is probably the right outcome, and that's been the case today. Two teams have played attacking football, they've gone for each other, the game's finished a draw. All players can come off the pitch with their head held high. You don't have to play act in the game, you don't have to dive in the game, just go and play it in the right and proper manner. The officials have refereed it in a brilliant way. Everything about the game, the fans, everything has been a brilliant spectacle to the Premier League.
Yeah, it really has, hasn't it? And Liverpool have done what Liverpool have been doing actually all season. They give up a goal early in that first half, they come back in the second half, but it's something you talked about, and we all talked about during half-time. They don't sort of deviate from the way that they play. They stay in the game, and that is what has earned them this point.
Yeah, I mean, we both managed, and I'm thinking you've got to do something about Doku. You've got to either get Mo Salah to run back and help Trent, because if he gets that much of the ball, I'm not sure whether Doku's done enough with what he's had today. Has he picked people out? Has his end product been right? Has he rolled one across the face? He had that much of the ball,
and I think he ended up beating Matip about 5 times. He's beat Trent about 8 times. But Jurgen Klopp didn't do anything about Bernardo Silva drifting into the pocket on the left-hand side and rolling the ball out to Doku, who's got 10-yard run-up at Trent. But fair play, the equaliser comes from Salah not running back, and he ends up on the far post and rolling the ball back for Trent to score the equaliser. So that's why he's Jurgen Klopp.
When we analyse the stats at the end of the game, Doku hasn't scored and Trent has. That's the madness of football.
That tells you exactly everything, doesn't it? And you just said it in commentary, didn't you? I mean, he's been sprinting, probably the busiest player on the pitch today, Doku. And and the end product goes to Trent, who was getting a bit of a stick in that first half as well. What a finish as well from Trent Alexander-Arnold. It just shows what he can produce.
He switched off, I would say, 4 times defensively and got away with it. Well, he didn't get away with the goal, to be fair. He skipped by him. He switched off when he went to left back. He ended up at left back there. They swapped over the fullbacks. He let Kyle Walker get him behind him. He's headed one into the back, into the middle of the goal for Haaland to finish. A terrible header. I think if Trent plays right back, you've got to score 2.
Yeah, potentially. As I say, he had his fingerprints on a lot of things that weren't good, but the other side of that is playing in that more advanced position. He's ended up getting a goal, and he'll feel good about himself, having a winger skip past him on several occasions. But you're right, what you said, Doku's got past him on several occasions, but not managed to get that second goal or second delivery to get the second goal. If they'd have got the second, City, the game would have been done and dusted.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't have enough time to talk about the alleged challenge on Alisson, which led to the goal being disallowed. So that will certainly be something that Manchester City will be aggrieved about. I'm sure that will be talked about throughout the evening as well. Let's just talk about what this does to the Premier League table then, because Manchester City still are top, 29 points. Liverpool behind them on 28. Arsenal behind them on 27. So Arsenal, who are away at Brentford today, have a chance to go back to the top of the table.
I think that just throws in the mix how good the title chase is this year. You know, this result, decent result for both teams potentially, but the other teams that are chasing them opens the door for them again to go either above them or shut the gap, and it's brilliant for us coming to watch these games.
It's the Grand National, and Arsenal are just tucked in behind the leaders, happy as Larry they're not in the spotlight.
Yeah.
The one at the front normally loses, doesn't he, in the Grand National?
Right at the end.
Yeah, so I think he'll be happy.
The final hurdle.
They're in the title race. They are, Arsenal.
Yeah. Well, there is a point between all the teams in that top 5 as well, so it could really go either way. But today it finished honours even, but Manchester City stayed top with that draw. They, of course, missed chances to pull away from Liverpool thanks to that late strike from Trent Alexander-Arnold. And as we are saying, Arsenal can leapfrog both of these sides if they win at Brentford at tea time today. Sam Matterface will be heading downstairs to interview both Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp. You'll hear both of their reactions to this result live on TalkSport very shortly, so make sure you stay with us for that one. You can also book your calls on this match for the full-time phone-in at 5:30 with Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Agbonlahor. You can do that right now if you call 03717 223344. That's 03717 223344. Get your requests for your shout on TalkSport in early. Coming up next on TalkSport 2, we have exclusive commentary of Burnley against West Ham, while here on TalkSport, Adrian Durham is taking you around the grounds in the Premier League and EFL. So from all of us at the Etihad, we've enjoyed this one, haven't we? Adrian Durham is up next.
Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Now. Stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Saturday. Football is upon us. Have you made your Super 6 predictions yet? It's free to play. Predict 6 correct scores and you could win £250,000. It's happened before and it can happen again. But we're about more than just jackpots. We've got weekly and monthly prizes too. There's even more to play for this season with Super 6. Download the app and enter for free by 3 p.m. Saturday. 18 plus. T's and C's apply.
Hard-hitting football coverage. Game day. Razor-sharp reaction to all the goals at all the games.
It's gone into the back of the net.
Game day live
on TalkSport.
Good
afternoon. I'm Adrian Durham, live at St James Park. This is Game Day Live, and the Premier League is back, live and exclusive on TalkSport. We've just brought you a classic. As fixtures go, they don't come much bigger than this. Man City 1, Liverpool 1. Reaction to come as soon as we have it on this show. And then we'll take you around the grounds with all the goals as they go in. It's a classic. TalkSport Saturday coming to you live from what could be an absolute cracker as Newcastle take on Chelsea.
Tucks it in inside the 6-yard box.
Players would have been disappointed by the Bournemouth performance. We all were. But now we're starting a fresh group of games, and we're looking forward to it.
Gallagher down the right-hand side, put in by Palmer. Jackson is there to finish it. Jackson slams it home, and Chelsea have a 3-1 lead in stoppage time.
We are going to try to keep the momentum. I think it's going to be tough because the atmosphere of the St James Park is always amazing.
Now Larson for Burnley coming forward. Great try! Oh, what a goal! Oh, what a goal by Jakob Larson! Bowen wins it back now. Bowen's left footed Keller! It's an absolutely brilliant goal for West Ham!
It's another incredibly tough game, and it's always over years been a tough place to go and play.
Adebayo turns, shoots, scores! His first Premier League goal! Gets Luton level! And for Schlupp!
McBurney comes back to Archer, and he delivers from the edge of the box, and Sheffield United are on target.
Billy spots the keeper of his line. What a goal! Billy, what a fantastic curling finish. Welcome to Nottingham Forest. Callum Hudson-Odoi. Harry Lancey away down the left-hand side for Brighton, outpace into the area, pulls it back. Pedro! 3-0! It's Premier League football, just the way we like it on TalkSport.
Well, what a day we've got ahead. What a game we've just had as well. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1. Man City stay top of the table for now. A win for Arsenal at Brentford at 5:30. And the Gunners will be back on top. Let's bring in our guys. Ray Parlour and Invincible at Kenilworth Road for Luton against Palace. And Ray, I know you've seen bits of the game. At 1-0, Man City had a goal ruled out for a foul on Alisson. It was controversial, to say the least. It split our commentary team of Stuart Pearce and Dean Saunders. What did you think?
I think it's pretty harsh, really, Aid. I really do. I think it was flapping a little bit, was it, when it came in? It was, look, it's slight contact, but you're a goalkeeper. You've got to be powerful. You've got to push people out of the way, and I thought it was a little bit harsh for me. But it was a big decision, massive decision in a massive game. So if they get that goal, it's probably game over. But credit to Liverpool, they kept going, and a fantastic strike from Trent.
It was one of those decisions where the referee has given it. VAR's never going to overturn it because there is contact. Akanji's hand is on Alisson, but it's so soft. And I think it's a problem because the referee thinks, well, if it's a howler, VAR will overturn it, but VAR's never going to overturn it. I don't know. The game has gone if that, for me, is a foul. Perry Groves is at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United against Bournemouth. In the end, I think actually a draw, possibly a fair result. I think Dean Saunders summed it up very well. Man City were the better side, but they just didn't take the chances. Liverpool, though, also had chances.
Yeah, talking about the goal, if you look at it, Alisson actually pushes Akanji first. You know, when Akanji stands, you're trying to stop the goalkeeper, aren't you, from coming for the ball? He just pushes him, and then obviously Akanji sides into him. I think Chris Kavanagh, the referee's trying to be too clever. I think he's trying to spot something that isn't there. And as you said before, VAR's not going to overturn it because it's not a absolute howler, but the goalkeepers are a protected species. It does hurt him. Alisson had a dodgy game anyway, didn't he? First half, he looked very, very shaky. You could say he was half at fault, obviously, for Haaland's goal. But the whole game, I think, didn't you think it summed up Trent Alexander-Arnold? where he should do better for the goal, shouldn't he? When Ake goes inside him, he should be tackling him. Then he's on the ball, he's brilliant, he creates chances, and it's, as Ray said there, it's a brilliant finish on the half volley to get them back on 1-1. But I just thought it was a brilliant spectacle. Man City should have been more clinical in the first half, when they're on top. Foden had a great chance, and it was a really good save from Alisson, to be fair, down low to his left-hand side. But football was the winner because it was a great result for Arsenal.
Yeah, it absolutely keeps the title race bubbling nicely indeed. As I say, the Gunners can go top with a win at Brentford, if they win at Brentford, the 5:30 kick-off tonight. But let's focus on the 3 o'clocks. Newcastle have kept 4 successive clean sheets at home in the league. Chelsea have scored 8 goals in the last 2 games against Spurs and City. This should be a very special game. It's Newcastle against Chelsea. Alongside me for TalkSport, Steve Harmison.
Well, if Nick Pope and Newcastle make it 5, that last time that was done, Adrian, was in 1907. And that's going to take some doing with, makes it harder for Newcastle. There's Joe Willock and Sean Longstaff out of the Newcastle United squad, which is a massive blow, especially with the schedule coming up. 3 goalkeepers and 4 under-23s on the Newcastle bench. Tells you exactly where Eddie Howe's squad is, and all the noise about the loans in midweek. They're desperate for reinforcements. Chelsea are looking good under Mauricio Pochettino. They're getting better and better. They've got their own injury worries. But as it stands, Newcastle are, they're really struggling at this minute. 3 changes for Newcastle from a poor performance against Bournemouth. Isaac, Livramento and Grimares all come into the lineup. Chelsea, well, they make 2 changes. Banshili and Ugokocha come into the starting 11. Newcastle in goal, Nick Pope, Kieran Trippier, Jamal Lascelles, Fabian Schär, Tino Livramento as a back 4, Grimares, Miley and Joe Linton as a midfield 3, with Almiron and Gordon either side of Alexander Isak. Chelsea, well, Sanchez is in goal, James at right back, Banshili, Silva and Cucurella make up the back 4, Fernandes and Ugokocha is the holding midfield players, with Sterling, Gallagher and Palmer playing just behind Jackson.
Steve, thanks very much. Burnley are the first side ever to lose their first 6 home games in the top flight. Can they stop the rot against West Ham at Turf Moor? For TalkSport, John Dunn.
And another home loss today would equal an unwanted English League record. As well as the wretched home form, the Clarets have lost 10 of their opening 12 league games. No top flight team has ever done that and managed to avoid relegation. Despite it all, Vincent Kompany names the same 11 that lost at Arsenal before the break. To its Trafford in goal, a defence of Vitinho, Bayer, O'Shea and Taylor. In midfield it's Goodmanson, Berger, Brownhill and Koleosho. Up front it's Andone and Rodriguez. While Burnley aren't great at home, the Hammers are struggling on the road, losing 7 of their last 10 away games in the Premier League, including their last 3. One change today from their pre-break win against Forest. Jared Bowen hasn't recovered from the knee injury that kept him out of England duty. His replacement is the former Burnley striker Danny Ings. Areola in goal. The back 4 for West Ham is Sufal, Zuma, Gerd and Emerson. Alvarez alongside Ward-Prowse in midfield, with Kudos, Souček and Paquetá supporting Ings. This one is also live on TalkSport 2. From Turf Moor, Burnley and West Ham.
No win is 6 for Roberto De Zerbi, held at home by Sheffield United and linked with Real Madrid when I read the transfer notebook on TalkSport.com this week. He takes Brighton to Forest today. There for TalkSport, Alex Crook.
Yes, Brighton more relaxed, I'm told, about De Zerbi's future than the man himself will be about that recent poor run of form. It won't get any easier this afternoon, with host Forest bidding to go unbeaten in their first 5 home games of a Premier League season for the first time since way back in 1995. They are without top scorer Taiwo Awoniyi due to injury, so Chris Wood deputises while Danilo replaces Sangare in midfield. Adicius is the goalkeeper, to back 4 of Aina, Niakate, Murillo and Toffolo, Danilo, Mangala and Dominguez in midfield, with Gibbs, White, Wood and Alanga leading the line in attack. 5 changes for the Seagulls. Verbruggen, Veltman, Dunk, Lamptey and Evan Ferguson are the players who come in. So Verbruggen is the goalkeeper, Veltman, Van Hecke, Dunk and Lamptey the back 4, Gross and Gilmore in front of them in midfield, Adingra, Lallana and Ansu Fati behind Ferguson up front. At the City Ground is Nottingham Forest against Brighton.
Well, Luton have yet to win at Kenilworth Road in the Premier League this season. Palace head to Bedfordshire this afternoon. Watching for TalkSport, Ian Abrahams.
And Luton were the beneficiaries when Everton got their 10-point deduction. It lifts them out of the bottom 3, but as you rightly say, they have got to attend to their home form, although this won't be easy. After today, they've got the likes of Arsenal, Manchester City, Brighton and Newcastle all to come to the Kenny, so they have to win really here today. As for Palace, they've won here in nearly 30 years. Not that they come here every single season. 2 changes for Luton today. Algo Makamba and Kabore. In come Amari Bell and Penny Ruddock and Panzu. So Kaminski's in goal. It's Mengi, Lockyer and Osho across the back. Amari Bell, Relican Panzu, Barkley and Doherty across the midfield, with Andros Townsend making his home debut, Bene behind Carlton Morris. Two changes of Palace as well. Will Hughes and Ayew drop to the bench. Check Decore and Michael Elise. They both start here. So Sam Johnson's in goal. It's Ward, Anderson, Gurhey and Mitchell across the back. Decore and Lerma will be holding in midfield. Elise, Eze and Schropp just behind the lone striker, Odson Edward. In midfield, this is massive today for Luton. It's Luton against Palace here at the Kenny.
And in commentary earlier, Sam Matpace told us that Luton's Chidozie Ogbene is the fastest player in the Premier League this season. Could be key today. Now, 4 points from the last games for Sheffield. Last 2 games for Sheffield United. 2 wins in the last 3 for Bournemouth. Big game then at Bramall Lane. TalkSport's Alan Biggs.
Absolutely, just 4 points separate these two. What a huge opportunity for Sheffield United to close the gap and possibly escape the bottom 3. Both teams on the back of good results, though Bournemouth have yet to win away, and Bramall Lane is a lot bouncier than it was. An unchanged side for Sheffield United, although McBurney and Ahmed Hodzic are back to add strength from the bench on Paul Heckingbottom's 2nd anniversary as manager. Fotheringham, Baldock, Trusty, Robinson at the back, Bogle, Sousa, Norwood and Thomas, and then McAtee and Harmer in support of Archer. For Bournemouth, Max Aarons is out injured, so Adam Smith represents the single change. Neto in goal, Smith, Zabanai, Senesi and Kelly at the back, Tavernier and Cook in front of them, and then Semenyo, Christie and Kluivert supporting Solanke. Sheffield United versus Bournemouth at Bramall Lane.
So James Parker filling up. The Newcastle players still out there warming up. The Chelsea subs are still out there, but the rest have gone back in. So let's get the latest from Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free Akerol bet builder on football this weekend. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds of 1.5 on minimum 1 leg. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
15 to kick off. Let's say hello to Alex Boyce from Betfair, who is actually, Alex, you're at Haydock today. What's going on?
Hi, I'm Adrian. Yeah, the world's first ever movie premiere has taken place here at Haydock Park. We've had punters posing on our Betfair yellow carpet, where we showcased our new serial winners short film, Rachel Blackmore, the game changer. She's now one of our favourite ambassadors. It was also shown in our big, bright, beautiful yellow Betfair stable cinema here at the racecourse. It comes, Adrian, as we launched our Rachel Blackmore Serial Winners Charity Fund. To £250,000 will be donated to the Injured Jockeys Fund and the Irish Injured Jockeys every time our ambassador Rachel Blackmore rides a winner this national hunt season. By the way, we've also kicked that off with an initial £100 donation today, so we are all behind Rachel this season, and let's hope she rides plenty of winners.
Well, that's fantastic, that news. Each week, remember, I'm going to be placing a bet on the Betfair Sportsbook with all the winnings going to the Bobby Moore Fund, raising funds for life-saving bowel cancer research. So, Alex, for our charity bet this week, we're placing a treble bet. West Ham to win at Burnley, Newcastle to win here against Chelsea, Forest Brighton the draw.
Yes, Adrian, so we've backed those 3 selections with Betfair's Match Odds 90 market, where these will be settled as winners as the clock hits 90, regardless of goals that go against us in added time. And we've backed that today at just over 11 to 1. So our £50 charity stake will return a lovely £658.54 for the Bobby Moore Foundation. And don't forget, there's a completely free Acker or bet builder on all football this weekend. Just head to the Betfair Sportsbook.
Alex, thanks very much. That odds update, all thanks to Betfair. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a completely free Akerol bet builder on football this weekend. Opt-in and previous deposit required. Max free bet varies from £1 to £10 per customer. Minimum odds of 1.5 on minimum 1 leg. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Earlier finished, Man City 1, Liverpool 1, live and exclusive on TalkSport, and we will bring you live reaction to that as soon as possible. But in the Championship last night, live on TalkSport 2, Leeds were held Rotherham 1-1. Leicester are still top, despite losing their last 2 without scoring. The host informed Watford at the King Power for TalkSport, Mike McCarthy.
And Leicester are without the man who scored their last Championship goal nearly a month ago. Harry Winks suspended. Wilfred Ndidi returns from injury. The only change to the side that were beaten by Sam Greenwood's pinpoint free kick at Middlesbrough. Upwardly mobile Watford, unbeaten in 6, have kept 4 clean sheets in the last 5 and were 5 5-0 winners over Rotherham last time out. Valerian Ismail making 3 changes. Captain and keeper Dan Bachman back after concussion. Tom Ince and Imran Louza come into the midfield from the King Power Stadium. It's Leicester City versus Watford.
No Championship side has got more points since the end of September than Southampton. They're expected to win at Huddersfield today. There for TalkSport, Dave Rowe.
Yes, and third place is the Saints' target today. Russell Martin's side have cut out the silly mistakes. It's 6 wins from 8 unbeaten, and they have a very handy knack of scoring late goals. Contrast that with Huddersfield, 3 points clear of the drop zone, but certainly being a drag towards it. 1 win in 10, 1 goal in 4. Midfield creativity and a lack of scoring strikers are both major issues. Darren Moore makes 5 changes, including a debut for Chris Maxwell in goal when Nichols is injured. Karoma and Kasumu both return. Bednarek and Ryan Fraser both start for the Saints. Out John Smith, Huddersfield against Southampton.
Preston looking for a 3rd straight win as they host Cardiff at Deepdale. It's TalkSport's Cameron Pope.
Thanks, Adrian. Preston's blistering start to the season gave way to a rotten run to end the autumn, but Ryan Lowe's side seemed to be on the up once more. The big team news for them, Ched Evans gets his first start since March. Last season's top scorer had surgery on a serious medical condition earlier in the year. Cardiff do have midfielder Manolis Siopis available after he had to miss Greece duty. Bluebirds looking to avoid going winless in 3. It's Preston versus Cardiff.
Liam Manning's first home game as Bristol City manager is against Middlesbrough, who are unbeaten in 7 away. At Ashton Gate for TalkSport, Lawrence Mora.
Yeah, new dawn at Ashton Gate after Nigel Pearson's reign was brought to a premature end. A young, forward-thinking coach playing front-foot style is how the board have sold Liam Manning to the fans. Well, City will do well to get on the front foot here against the Borough side who are really motoring. Since September 23rd, Borough have taken more championship points than any other side. 2 changes for the home side. Mehmeti and Vyman replaced by Gardner, Hickman and newly England under-20 cap Sammy Bell. As for the visitors, 1 change after beating Leicester. Latte Lath coming in for Coburn, who drops to the subs bench. At Ashton Gate, it's Bristol City against Borough.
Into League One, where just 5 points separate the top 5. Unbeaten leaders Portsmouth host Blackpool. Oxford-born Des Buckingham's first game as second-placed Oxford manager is at second-bottom Cheltenham. And Bolton in 3rd host out of form Exeter at the Tough Sheet Stadium. Also there for TalkSport, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Bolton's best start to the season for 27 years. Won 7 of their last 8 in the league. Never makes 1 change as Jack Idle replaces Randall Williams, who's injured. Exeter arrive here in awful form. 1 point in their last 8. They've lost their last 4 away and scored just 2 in their last 8 games. They make 3 changes as out go Harper, Scotland, Musgrave, Niskanen, Carroll and Diabate come in at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. It's Bolton against Exeter.
Cheers, we're around the grounds with all the goals as they go in on TalkSport this afternoon. We're also going to bring you
Alright guys, it's all over here. Manchester City 1, Liverpool 1 people. So they've shared the spoils here. Sorry people, tonight I'm having technical issues here. I'm trying to figure out what is going on, but I promise the other streams will be much better than this. And I just have to run right now, go to the other streams and try to rectify everything and set up everything like that, man. I think it's really giving me some headache tonight. But whatever the case, people, yep. So Manchester City, I said I predicted that it's going to be a draw, and tonight is a draw, guys. And yeah, so both teams, Manchester City still topping the league right now. Liverpool still a point behind them. Let's see how it's going to play out, guys. Let's see how it's going to play out. All right, people. So I'm just gonna go off right now and come back live for Newcastle and Chelsea, and then also we have Burnley, West Ham that's taking place, Brighton and Nottingham Forest also to come, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Let's do this. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye for now.